It's a BM.
It's a BM. Oh my god. Friend, like furthermore, engaging with the stereotype.
Yeah.
What's up everybody, Afiq here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How you guys doing? So in front of me is a BMW 3 Series. Now the 3 Series is considered one of the most dynamic driving machine ever built. Even with this particular model, the E90, it is an absolute driving pleasure. So without further ado, let's check out this amazing machine, and this is ABB Automotive. So here at the front end of the BMW 3 Series E90, the face that you see here is the pre-facelift car. So how to tell that this is a pre-facelift car over the facelift car? Number one is the grille itself. Okay, so for the pre-facelift car, the top part of the hood is a straight line. Okay, while the facelifted car, there is a cutout for the twin kidney pot grille. Okay, so speaking of the kidney pot grille here, this particular grille, the owner did change the grille. Okay, and then it has this M Sport look, which you can tell by the three colors that is located on the grille. So the three colors over here indicate the colors of the M Sport variant. Okay, so looking at the rest of the car, you have a lower grille and then you do have a pair of fog lights. Okay, moving up to the main headlight. So the headlight is the pre-facelift car, so you don't have the LED turning indicator. And for this particular car, it's only equipped with multi-reflector, but it is HID. Okay, so going back towards the grille, some mechanical aspect about the grille is that actually inside there you do have some slats that can open, okay, when you are driving at high speed, but it will close down if you are not. Okay, now another particular aspect about the pre-facelift car like this, you don't see the twin line that runs the length of the hood. The facelift car, it does have that two line to indicate the facelifted model. Okay, so overall, for me, the front end of the BMW, this particular model, I think it ages quite nicely. I find that for myself, I do like the shape and the size of the kidney grille on this generation during this era. Personally, for me, I do find that the kidney grille on the modern BMW a tad too big sometimes and a little bit of out of proportion. For this one, I think it looks quite nice, and overall the proportion fits well with the rest of the car. So under the hood of the BMW E90, so the E90 comes with a lot of different engine choices. Of course, you have the i6, okay, the inline 6, which come in the form of a 3 litre or 2.5, and of course the top of the range M3, it comes with a 4 litre V8 engine. So this particular model, being the more mainstream model, okay, is a 2 litre i4 engine, direct injection, codenamed the N43. In terms of horsepower and torque figures for this car, is around 140 horsepower with 190 Newton meters of torque. So power is sent through the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual transmission. So this is where I think this car is some sort of a unicorn and some sort of kind of special in this side of the world, because normally we don't get a lot of automatic BMWs in Asia. So having a manual transmission one, it is quite rare. It is also because this particular car is actually not Japan or Malaysian spec. It's actually imported from the UK. So this particular model is a European spec. So yeah, and to find one in such an immaculate condition, I would say is quite nice lah. So okay, So here at the side of the BMW E90 3 Series, of all the angle of the car, this is my favorite angle of the car. Why? Because from the side, you can definitely tell that this is a 3 Series and this is a rear-wheel drive car thanks to the sedan proportion. Okay, so some of the design highlight for this car, of course, this is not going to be a BMW without that very iconic BMW design, which is the C-pillar over here. It features the very prominent Hofmeister King. So every BMW that ever existed is equipped with this design element, but for this E93, it is very prominent, as you can see. Okay. Now another thing to highlight is the rim on this car. So this particular car is using 17-inch M Sport rim. Okay, I think it looks quite decent. Okay, not too big, not too small, and it is wrapped in the 225/50 series tires, which I think is very chunky. Okay, so overall, the design profile of this car, I love this black color. Okay, it makes the E90 looks very sleek. Okay, and then I do like that the lower seal of the car, it comes with this sort of looking like a side skirt, so it does make the side of the car look lowered. Actually, this car, in terms of its design language, over the years, I think it ages quite beautifully. Okay. So here at the back of the E90, so the back end that you see here is the pre-facelift car. Okay, so the facelifted E90, the tail lamp, there's a cut off over here. So for this particular tail lamp, you can see it's a complete shape. But if the facelift car, there's a cut off point over here. Okay, so as the badge implies, this is the 318i. Okay, so if you get for this particular engine, you can also get it with the 320i. Okay, so the back end of this car, I would say it looks quite nice. Okay, I do love that the badge here is like the front colored. Okay, it's colored, and then the back end, the bumper looks quite sporty, and it does come with a single exhaust outlet in the end there. Okay. So being a sedan, it is somewhat practical. The boot space. Now, one thing I like about the boot space over here is that it comes with this hinge design, and it comes with this dual shock design. So if you are carrying a lot of items in the boot, if you close the boot, then it will not affect all your items inside the car. If it's the gooseneck hinges type, it will be touching the item inside the car. Okay. This car, the boot space, I can see that it's not the biggest, but it is usable. Okay. Overall, the back end of the 318i, the E90, I think it is not as iconic as the model before this or the model after this, but nevertheless, from far you can still tell that this is a BMW design.
One interesting feature that comes on this generation BMW is the light check feature, which run through all the bulbs of the car before you start the engine. It runs both for the front lights as well as the rear lighting.
Okay, so here inside the E90 BMW, okay, in terms of design element, it is typical BMW. Okay, very efficient, very neat looking. Okay, materials as well is very top notch. These are all soft touch. The steering is leather, the door cut, this is leather, this is soft touch, armrest also soft touch, and towards the bottom of the door cut, it is also soft touch. In terms of its driving position, I would say BMW has one of the most perfect driving position ever. Okay, the steering wheel in front of me, okay, you definitely can adjust the steering wheel. Okay, you do have tilt, and then you have telescopic. Together with the bolstering on the seat, I would say the driving position is absolutely spot on. Towards the center stack, you do have the square design aircon. In the middle there, you have the lock button as well as the traction control. You have a CD player, and then towards the bottom is the dual zone automatic climate control. Now the highlight of this car, like I mentioned before, is the 6-speed manual transmission, because this is a very rare item in Malaysia. The 6-speed manual, the shifter is a short throw, as you can see, and then this is the M Sport shifter. Okay, so the position of the pedal, this is one of the first manual car ever driven that has a footrest for the manual. So for myself, when I first get into this car, for me, pressing the clutch needs some getting used to, because in this case, the most left pedal is not the clutch, it is the footrest, right? Towards the center console, nice traditional handbrake. You have a little bit of storage over here, and then in front of me there's this phone that the owner installed. So this is actually to monitor the engine performance. Okay, anything to do with the engine, it shows here: temperature, fuel, okay, oxygen sensor, and etc. You do have armrest as well. Okay, decent size, and inside the armrest there's a cup holder as well. So there is also a cup holder on the passenger side. Okay, that come out from the dashboard. On top of me, I do have auto dimming rear view mirror, which is quite nice, and then the what they call sun visor over here, nice big sun visor, and you do have the vanity meter on the driver's side and also the lighting. And not only that, on the driver's side as well, I do have grab handle, which is quite interesting. Okay, I do see a speaker over here, so I'm assuming that this car has surround sound. Okay, and yeah, the rest of the car, it feels like a BMW. Build quality is typical German, and yeah, over the course of time, I think the interior is still quite efficient, neat, and quality.
Yeah.
Okay, so I move to the back seat or the second row of the E90. So this driving position is set to my driving position. I am 165 centimeter of height. Okay, in terms of space, I would say it is decent lah, okay, because this car is being rear wheel drive. Space back here, I would say, is decent for somebody of my size. In terms of leg room, not really an issue. I have lots of leg room. Only with the headroom, my head is slightly touching the headliner, but this is due in part to the headliner being slightly sagged, but a common issue with BMWs. Okay, but in terms of amenities, again, a mixed bag. So on the good thing is you have dual map pocket, and then you do have a place to throw your rubbish. Okay, and then you have aircon vents coming out. Okay, which is a godsend here in Malaysia because it's a hot country. And then towards the center, you do have this nice armrest, very wide armrest, I must say, and it comes with a pair of cup holders, and the cup holders can actually hold bigger bottles. Okay, this is quite good, and I do like the angle of the armrest stops at a certain angle. It doesn't just drop to the floor. Okay, so overall aesthetically it's quite nice. But on the door cut, yes, it is soft touch material. These are all soft touch. There's no door cut, so you can't actually put things on the side of the door for this car, right? But other than that, back here, it feels luxurious. Okay, and I do feel like I'm sitting in a very good quality product. Yeah, so the back end of the 3 Series is not the biggest, but it's not that small as well. Oh, another thing to highlight, being a rear-wheel drive, it does come with a transmission tunnel. So if you are carrying 3 people abroad in this car, bear in mind that the person in the middle might have issue putting where his foot is. Okay, so he might need to put on other side of the the transmission tunnel. Yeah, like this. But for abroad, for adults in the car, not an issue at all.
Okay guys, so I am currently inside the E90. So I've been driving this car for a while now, and long story short, this is a brilliant car. Okay, say what you want about the 3 Series, even in the base form 2-liter i4 engine, it is a brilliant car to drive. It's pretty much a driver's car. This particular car, okay, being the 2-liter i4, I would say it's a more civilized version. It's not so hardcore, but even in this spec, I find this car very pleasurable to drive. Okay, so the first thing I want to highlight is the steering wheel. Despite having a good driver position, which is spot on, the steering on this thing is amazing. Especially with this particular model, it includes the dynamic package. So this particular steering is electronic power steering. Okay, on top of, compared to the normal E90, is hydraulic. But with that being said, even though this is electronic power steering, I feel like this steering is amazing. You know, like in a car, when you turn into an angle, you feel like when you reach the angle, you don't have enough turning angle on the steering wheel to make that corner. With this car, I feel like when I turn the angle with my regular turning angle, I have too much angle. The car very much willingly want to turn. Okay, so in terms of its like characteristic of like turning, I think it's brilliant. And the suspension for this car, I don't know what it is. It is comfortable and dynamic at the same time. I don't really feel any road imperfection, but at the same time when I turn, there's not much body roll, and the car pretty much just stick to the road. And then mind you that this is a stock suspension running on 17-inch wheel with thick rubbers. Okay, so it is, to me, the setup, the what you call the suspension setup on this car is kind of like amazing. The engineering on the suspension and handling, I think, is brilliant, and I freaking love it. Okay, and then another thing that I want to highlight and I very much in love is this 6-speed gearbox, particularly with this shifter. So this is the M Sport shifter. As you can see, it is very short, and not only that, it is also accurate. Okay, I love going through the gears in this. Okay, and then another thing I sort of like realized in this car, because this car is a BMW, so BMW ultimately, especially here in Asia, it is counted as a premium car. So inside here, the ride quality feels very premium, very civilized. Road noise is not much. I don't hear any road noise at all. This only coming from the tires. But it's nice that for the first time ever in my life, I feel like driving a premium manual car, which you don't get a lot in Malaysia, because in Malaysia, manual is either the cheapest model or a racing performance model. So having a premium car with manual shifter, I feel like this is such a nice balance. Okay, and it feels very nice going through the gears, and everything feels so refined. The gear feels very nice, and yeah, it feels very, very civilized, and I can picture myself driving this daily. Okay, so another thing I want to highlight that, as I mentioned before, this car is a Euro spec car, and you can tell that this is a European spec car, particularly UK, because of the speedometer. Okay, inside here, the speedometer on the outside, it reads miles per hour, while the inside it reads kilometer an hour. So normally, if this is a Malaysian or Japan spec car, this is not the issue. Everything is in kilometer an hour. Okay, so something like this, I would say, is a rare gem in Malaysia, because it's not every day you can get a base model BMW in a manual spec, and it comes with most of the bells and whistles. Okay, it feels quite premium inside here lah. What happened to that car?
Don't know. It's a BM.
It's a BM. Oh my god.
Friend.
Like, furthermore, engaging with the stereotype.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of its driving position, I would say if I'm just cruising like this, okay, I'm in 6th gear, it feels very nice, okay, very relaxed. The suspension, like I said before, it is super comfortable. Okay, the road bumps, I don't really feel it at all, any road imperfection, yeah. And yeah, it's just a very pleasant car, and I'm surrounded by high quality materials. Okay, everything feels premium, you know, leather seat, you know, soft touch door card. I do love the door handle. Okay, it looks quite nice, you know, that sort of like chrome finish. And yeah, overall my experience in this 3 Series is very good. In terms of driver visibility as well, I think not really an issue. The side mirror has an interesting shape. It is like oval looking, but I do like that it has a auto dimming feature, so both left and right. If somebody were to shine bright light behind you, you automatically dim. Same thing with the rear view mirror. It's quite nice. Okay, again, inside here, I barely hear anything from the outside. You're very well isolated. Okay, so this is definitely one of those manual car, if you feel like you want to go through your own gears, but at the same time you want premium features and premium quality vibe. Yeah, this is definitely one of those car. And for the owner to find this car, I feel like good on him. This is somewhat of a unicorn, especially in our market, in Malaysia market. Taking the angle here, it's so nice. The car really plants. So the 2-liter i4 engine, I want to highlight that because it's a naturally aspirated engine, you will need to rev up to build up the power. But to say that this car is underpowered is not really so lah, it's an understatement. I feel like for daily use, this engine is sufficient for me. Never do I feel like I'm underpowered. Okay, for me lah, for me as a normal person who drives not so hardcore, okay, I feel like for me this power is sufficient for me for daily use. Okay, this power with this steering is a very much pleasurable driving experience for me, and I would happily drive one of these to go to work daily if it is this enjoyable.